Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to talk about the new yellow cards and some of the yellow X cards that were spoiled across the week. Battle Evolution seems to be setting up to be a decent little addition set. There's some really cool support in here that I definitely can't wait to see be implemented in some of these old decks or create new ones. So I'm very excited to go forward and see what's hood. Now, that being said, just want to say, as always, very happy for the support that's going on. The road to 1,000 is still going strong. Every bit of support, every new subscriber, every old subscriber, you guys all mean the most to me. You count and you really make my day with some of the support that I see in the DMs or the Discord. So that being said, if you haven't already, think about going to the Facebook group and joining up. Its link will be in the description because it's the largest forum for our card game. If you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe notification button, like the video, comment, give me your thoughts, and yeah, if you want to chill with the homies, sometimes test, sometimes talk, join the Discord. The Discord not only has channels for just the card game, but it also has different rooms for like Legends, Dokkan if you play it from either channel, which will also be in the description. Even has like chats for random things like Gundams, because you know, guns are cool. So moving past that, we're gonna jump right into this for the first card. We got Android 13, 14, and 15. It's a leader card for yellow. Auto, choose one green or yellow Android card in your hand, discard it. When this card attacks, draw 2 cards. Okay, so that's a very nice filtering, and it has just a whole bunch of targets to discard. So definitely like that. Awaken, when your life is at 5 or less, and you have Android 14, 15 cards in your drop area, you may draw 1 card, switch up to one of your energy to active mode, then flip this card over. Okay, next side. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. Cool. Auto, once per turn. When one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode is placed in the owner's drop area by one of your skills, your opponent chooses the card in their hand and discards it. Okay. Activate battle. Send one Android 14 and an Android 15 card from your drop area to your warp. Choose one of your leader cards or Android cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. Okay. Its front side is very interesting because it's going to filter a lot of cards. Fill up your grave for its awakening while drawing you cards, and I think that's really cool. Its awakening is pretty decent. You get to awaken at 1 life higher than normal, and the conditions are pretty easy to meet. Now, on its backside, it's unfortunate that they have to be rested and then KO'd for you to get that effect, but the real oddness about it is its once per turn doesn't really seem that cool. I need to see the rest of the archetype to put it together, but 5,000 power for the battle, yeah, I mean, that's alright. So it seems like the backside is kind of a little lackluster, but again, let me see the rest of the archetype. The next card is the Unison Super 17 Energy Absorber. Permanent, if you have 5 or more Android cards in your drop area, this card gains plus 10,000 power during your turn, taking it from a 5k to a 15k, which can pressure unawakened leaders like just infinitely, but it can pressure awakened leaders with its swing on neutral. That's really good. Plus 2, place up to 1 green or yellow Android card with an energy cost of 4 or less from your deck to your drop area, then shuffle your deck. Okay. -5, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and negate their skills for the turn. Again, you don't often play a Unison for their -5 in most decks, or for their big minus in most decks, because it's not a guarantee you're going to get there. But this guy comes out on 1, can instantly go up to 3 markers, and he'll be able to pressure like people probably on turn. With this leader, the fact that you can +2 him and drop something, and use your leader skill and drop something, then +2 and drop something again. Between the leader and this Unison, the second turn, he should be able to start pushing for 15k, because all you have to do is combo 1 card, or use an effect outside of that. So I think that's actually really cool. +2 leaders are always going to be, or +2 Unisons are always going to be good, because they'll be able to keep ahead most of the time the first couple turns of pressure. And if you ignore them, they just get up way too high to deal with. So I'm actually very happy seeing a card like this. Next, we got Android 14, the mission begins. When this card is played, look up to the top 5 cards from the top of your deck. Yeah, and add up to 1 green or yellow Android card with energy cost of 4 or less, and once it's in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So 1 drop that can search out stuff, nothing special there, but he's also an Android 14. Now you've got Android 15, the mission begins. Auto, if your leader card is yellow or an Android 13 card, when this card is played, choose one. You can either draw one, so standard, or your opponent chooses one of their battle cards, switches to rest mode, and if that card has an energy cost of 2 or less, KO it. This is very, very interesting because since it allows your leader to be yellow or an Android 13, this can be the way to just completely shut down Black Mass Sand. And some of the yellow decks will just spam out little weenies. But yeah, that's actually really, really gross. I like it a lot. It's really cool to put something in a rest mode, but I mean, if your opponent just opened up by playing turn one drop floodgate, and you just play this guy and just smash it, like that's actually a really, really good utility and is better than just Android 13 decks. You got Mecha Frieza, full assault. Auto, auto yellow. If your leader card is mono yellow and it's your opponent's turn, when you activate a yellow card or a yellow extra card, play this card from your hand, and then you can't play copy this card to the turn. Okay, so it is a 15k that gets played by one, as long as your leader is mono yellow and it's your opponent's turn. You activate a yellow extra card. That's actually disgustingly good because sometimes you can be activating these cards for free. Actually, many times in Frieza, so you could have this as a 1 energy play. Now, auto, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 mono yellow energy, well, extra card amongst them to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Okay, there's a couple things going for this. While it's not necessarily going to break your game, it can add to consistency depending on what cards you're looking for. It helps you toolbox a little deeper, but most importantly, it's also a 5k. So this guy is never going to get stuck in your hand. You can easily include him at 2 and know that he's either going to be combo power or he's going to fix your deck when your hands are a little weaker than normal. So I think that's actually very, very cool. Now you got Sorrel and Hop Fiends of Universe 9. That name, that name, Fiends, you say. So energy exhaust and blocker. Permanent. If you have a Universe 9 card in play, negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. Okay, that's very nice. Auto, when you play, or when this card activates its blocker skill, your opponent may choose one of their cards and switch it to rest mode if they don't draw a card. Okay, so this is actually really, really neat. It's 15, and you can end up playing this off of a whole bunch of stuff. I like this effect because just having a Basil or a Chapel on board allows you to play blue-yellow energy without energy exhaust, which may open up some very, very valid avenues of play for decks like Mecha Frieza that maybe you want to branch into blue. So this card should not be discounted. I think this card is actually a really, really strong piece. And then the other ability of being able to switch, your opponent has to switch into the rest mode or you draw a card, that's cool because it forces your opponent to start playing towards your scheme, or you get an extra card, which can always be dangerous in a deck like Mecha where you can just build up a hand of just counterplay. Next, you got Frieza Army Reinforcements. Counter deck, if your leader card is mono yellow, negate the attack, then play 1 Frieza's Army token with 10,000 power and it gains block for the turn. And then if you're at 5 or less, you can activate this counter skill from your hand by adding 1 life up. I don't really like this card. I don't really think there's much to do with it. I mean, there's so many better counter attacks you can do. And this just makes a 10k blocker for 1 turn. So, yeah, there's not really much to say about this. Don't like it. Kaioken Son Goku, a heavy toll. Double strike, swap 8 for 4 energy. Gokus Lineage with a cost of 8. Active main, switch one of your Gokus Lineage leader cards to active mode and negate this skill for the game. So it looks like a very hefty swap piece, but what this is for is getting that Goku leader. I think I have a giant one around here somewhere. Sorry, room's a mess. I'm not gonna find it now. Point being, yeah, I lied. So it's for getting this guy to be untapped, because this dude says when your life is less than or equal to your opponent's life, this card gains 5,000 power and critical. And whenever this card attacks, you draw 1 card. So this card is going to be very interesting because you can bring it out in this Goku's Lineage deck and use him to untap your leader to go for another 15 or another 20k critical strike and draw another card. So it's going to play hand in hand with that. I'm not sure if that's going to be strong enough to bring a deck like that into the spotlight, but it's definitely an interesting thing to be able to swing with leaders multiple times. Now, because of Supreme Kai being a thing, leaders swinging multiple times isn't as strong as that used to be, but we can definitely see how it works out. Next, you've got SS Bardock, Never Ending Vengeance. Energy Exhaust, Unique Barrier. If you have a Bardock's crew card in play, reduce the combo card of this cost in your hand by 1. Now, when you get him out into the board, though, Activate main, blue colorless. If your leader card is Bardock's Crew card, choose one Taur's red armband or Assault of the Great Apes in your hand, activate it, then negate this skill for the game. Cool. This card cheats into play some of the best cards in the actual thing. And he's a 5-drop Bardock, which allows you to use a certain card in conjunction with it pretty well that is very old and dusty. So I actually really like this card. I think it adds a lot to the archetype, kind of a very good linking piece. And on top of it being such a good linking piece, first off, it just looks cool. But I like that. I actually really like that a lot. The only thing that's gonna hold it back is it requires you to play a really bad leader. So I'm very much so hoping that they update the Bardock's Crew leader at some point. Give us something we can use. With all this Bardock's Crew stuff coming out, I would not be surprised if we somehow got a new Bardock leader in the next booster set, because all this support is coming out and the leader is doo-doo from the themed booster pack Clash of Fates from forever ago. So I hope we get a new one. Next card, your worst nightmare. Activate main. If your leader card is mono yellow and you have 3 or more energy, choose up to 1 yellow Frieza card with Mecha in its name and an energy cost of 4 and you're going to play it. Then you can activate the activate main skill and copy this card for turn. Okay, it's cool. You can cheat in 4 cost Mecha Freezes. I'm just going to point out one crucial piece of detail. One, this requires you to have 3 or more energy, meaning it is completely useless when you are playing aggressive rush down strategies like Majin Vegeta or Red Broly, and sometimes depending on how well they get their setup, even Dark Broly. I don't like a card that checks your energy or your opponent's energy, because it requires that no matter what, you have to get to that stage of the game to even use this effect. Meaning if you mull and this is still in your hand after mull, congratulations, you got dead cards. And dead cards get you killed. So that's definitely not my cup of tea. Now we're moving on to the rares. You got Super Android 13, Cores of the Trio, Energy Exhaust, Deflect, Triple Attack, and got Successor for yellow, green, and it's only 7. This is wild. When your leader card is yellow or an Android card, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. Cool. And then if your leader card is an Android 13 card, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. And if you're resting your opponent's cards or they just swung out on you last turn, this is going to be able to kill a rest mode card, which is going to be able to proc your leader. I personally think that Android cards in this set are going to make Androids great again. The MAGA that we needed, not the one that we got. And so I am very happy about this. JK about all the MAGA stuff. No, really, I'm gonna rebrand MAGA for make Androids great again. But really, that's just it's this set is bringing out a lot of good Androids. They've got Android 14 and Android 15 target acquired. I love the art on this. I'm hoping to see a foil. Energy Exhaust, Deflect. Permanent, if your leader card is an yellow or an Android, you can reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, when this card is played, look at the top 10 cards from your deck. Play up to 1 Android 13 card with an energy cost of 4 or less among them with its skills negated for the turn, then shuffle your deck. Alright. For 2 energy, playing a 4 cost is stupid. So I'm already just gonna put that out there. This is cool. It's got Deflect on it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Deflect and cheating out good cards. We're on it. There's not really much to say about this because it's pretty straightforward and simple, but it's really strong. Now you got Death Blaster. Counterplay, if your leader card and all of your energy are mono yellow and you send 2 mono yellow extra cards with energy costs of 1 or more other than this card from your drop area to the warp, the battle card being played is played in rest mode with its skills negated. So it's a Bloodlust on crack when it comes to its ability, but at the same time it has a significant drawback. It's not fully free because not only will you be taking the life for it, you're also going to be you're taxed off of your drop zone, and this is not always going to be the easiest per se. Let's just imagine that you have the meta cooler Unison on board, and you're constantly taking those extra cards from the grave or drop to your Unison in order to be able to rejuvenate soon. This card is going to be hard to use. Now, I knew that for a lot of Mecha Frieza players, the Unison of choice is now Vegeta Unison of Fury, simply because that puts Broly and a lot of other decks in their place. So this will probably be able to be used a lot more, but I still don't think it's just necessarily a better Bloodlust because it has an additional cost that could sometimes stop you from using it. So I definitely feel like this card is going to be great mid-game, great late game, but early game it kind of feels dead. Now we're at the SRs. We got SS3 Son Goku even further beyond. He's got Barrier, we like that. Slot 5 for 3, we like that too. If you have 3 or more energy, we don't like that. But it's 3, so you have to have 3 or more energy, so it's kind of moot. But you're gonna, if you have 3 or more energy, Goku's Lineage card with energy cost of 5, cool. Activate main, 1 yellow. If all your energy is mono yellow and you choose 1 Goku's Lineage card in your battle area with an energy cost of 2 and return it to your hand, play this card from your hand and add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. You can't play copies of this card for the turn. Alright, what this means is that you are likely going to be able to not be stalled off in the Goku's Lineage deck anymore, because you will literally be able to play this dude in Awaken and then go up your chain. I like him a lot. I think he's really cool. Depending on the leader you have, you could play this guy on 1, swap him for 3 if you have 4 energy, and then Awaken and open up energy again. So I think this is really cool. The artwork is iconic, and again, just like with the Bardock's crew, we're just looking for a better Goku's Lineage leader to really start kicking stuff off. Next, they're getting another SR from this set, Pan the Courageous Youth. When this card is played using swap, choose up to 1 Goku's Lineage card from your deck and up to 1 Goku's Lineage card from your hand, each with different card names and energy costs of 5, and play them with their keyword skills negated for the turn. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. So there's multiple cards that do things that can be brought off of this, but this is going to supercharge your Ascension and actually give you 2 targets to swap up from. So I think this card is going to be an excellent sort of deal when we're talking about using, you know, just this sort of archetype. I dig it. Auto 1. If this card is using a combo from your hand with a Heroine card in your leader area or battle area, this card gains plus 5,000 power and double strike. Or the card gets, yeah, plus 5,000 power and double strike for the battle. So this is actually really neat. But on top of it being neat, just because you're not a heroine in a Goku's Lineage deck, unless they make Pan the new Goku Lineage leader, that would be disgusting. If it was Pan but flipped to Pan and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that would be amazing. But if they don't make a Pan Lineage leader, I do think that what we're going to be allowed to do is, I guess there might already be one. I need to check. But what we're going to be able to do is, even if you had her on board from a swap, you know, you could definitely combo her onto her and make her a 24k double strike. So that's pretty cool. But if they make like a Pan leader that flips and she counts as heroine, I think that would be amazing. Then we got Trio de Dangers, Fierce Trinity. This card is kind of snapped. Energy Exhaust, Deflect, Double Strike. Permanent, your opponent can't activate counter skills in response to this card attacking a Unison or battle card. Auto, when this card removes a marker from an opponent's Unison card by attacking, choose up to 1 of your opponent's Unison cards and negate its skills until the end of your opponent's next turn. Activate main, blue-yellow if your opponent has 2 or more energy, and you have a total of 2 or more blue or yellow cards in play. Play this card from your hand. Okay, so this is definitely cool. Just because of the mana constraints or energy constraints, this is kind of a turn 3 drop. Because even if you play a 1 drop on turn 1, you can't play a 1 drop on turn 2 and play this guy unless you're also using things like Senzu Bean. However, Senzu Bean can turn this guy into a turn 2 play, and as a turn 2 play, you could swing your opponent's Zeno. They can't counter it, they can't combo on it. So if they don't have a blocker, their Zeno is taking 1 damage and can't use any effects next turn, meaning they have to get your Trio de Dangers off the board or else your Zeno is dead next turn. This card is disgusting when it comes to killing Unison, and now like blue decks, blue-yellow decks, they have such an access. They have access to such an amazing Unison killer card. I love this. U9 going up, like to the moon, seriously. And then the last one, Android 13, the mission begins. Energy Exhaust, unique Double Strike. Arrival, green, yellow, for 1 green. That's crazy. Auto, at the start of your opponent's turn, they choose 2 of their battle cards and KO them. Yeah, if you don't get this guy off the field, you are ruining the day. Then activate main 1. Send this card from your drop area to the warp. Choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. You can drop this guy into the grave early with the way archetype works, and you're going to be able to remove him from the grave and blow up something early game. That's wonderful. But the fact of the matter is, once he's on the board, your opponent has a heavy tax, he becomes the immediate priority to remove, or else you're gonna have some issues. So, and on top of that, I think you should know, he doesn't have a leader requirement. So as long as you're playing like green, yellow revival, or green, yellow arrival, this card is gonna put in work. So yeah, there it is. Those were the cards for the set. I hope you guys like me going over them. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about them. Like I said before, if you're new to the channel, think about hitting the subscribe button. And hopefully this set will make androids great again. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.